What was it? 7, 8, 9. What was I saying? What's going on? We're gonna be working on a little budget build today. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. I had to bust out the dad bod and go skins because I just come home from working on that ski boat, and it is hot here in Tennessee, and I didn't really feel like messing up a whole nother shirt. So y'all gonna have to put up with my whiteness for a little bit. I need to get some sun on my tail anyways. Not having my truck has kept me from going fishing, so this is probably the whitest I've been this time of the year in a long time. And I got a vacation coming up, and I'm going to get scorched if I don't get a little sun first. Anyways, we gonna prep this the little 10-foot Dakota and get it ready for paint. It's got some stickers on it we need to get off, and we'll try to get the Dakota logo off, and it says Polar Craft on the back. Get that off too. I think that's decal, so it should be fairly easy to remove. And we're gonna sand it. I went ahead and brought my sander home. I'm done sanding the freaking ski boat. That's another reason why I ain't got no shirt on, because I was burning up doing that crap at her house. So we're gonna flip it over, sand the bottom of it. It's a newer boat, doesn't leak, so we're not gonna have to fool with any kind of sealer on the rivets. I think we're good to go on that. So that saves a little bit of money on the budget build. And we can go ahead and get it, like I said, get it sanded down and paint the outside of the boat. And then I might move it inside before I paint it, but that won't be today. So I got rid of the skiff. I got a little bit of room in here now. But today what we're gonna focus on is getting the stickers off and getting it sanded down. All right, let's get to work. It's hot. All right, we got her all sanded down, got the stickers off, decals off. Like I said, we ain't trying to make it perfect, but we want it to look decent. We ended up doing with them decals. It left a lot of glue still on there. I took some mineral spirits, rubbed it on, and used that razor blade to scrape it off. And then it took a few times, but it came on off. Same thing with them stickers up there. Then I went back and sanded it after it dried. All right, now we can wash this thing off. What's going on? It is the next day. You're gonna have to excuse my sweatiness. Yesterday I had to put up with my beer gut. Now today you're just going to have to put up with me sweating. I just left Amanda's house, putting the first coat of paint on the Mastercraft on the bottom of the boat. And I run over here and I moved the little 10-foot John boat from the driveway into my garage, mainly because I don't want to thin this paint down, because that requires more money, and this is a budget. It's hot outside. We're looking at mid-90s right now, and my garage is out of direct sunlight, so hopefully it'll give me a little bit more drying time on this boat so I can keep a wet edge and make it look decent. Like I said in the one video of the trailer, you can't see anymore because I poured on that front. This is Rustoleum oil base flat black. You get it at Lowe's. I think it was 39 bucks, something like that. I've seen people paint John boats before with this paint, so I know it's possible, but what it looks like on camera and what it's actually going to look like here in front of me is yet to be determined. We'll see, and I'll let you guys know exactly what it looks like. I ain't scared to tell you it looks like crap if it looks like crap. It's flat black, so you know it should hide a little bit of hurt, which this boat really isn't that beat up at all. It's just a newer boat. It's got a couple of dents and stuff, but I'm hoping I won't have a lot of roller marks. That's what I'm really worried about. I don't want that. And with the oil-based paint and it being hot, that's what you can run into. You want to try to keep a wet edge, which that means, you know, you don't want to roll one strip all the way down and then come back and roll right below it. It's going to leave a roller line, roller marks if you do it like that. With that being said, I'm going to use the same stuff I've been using on most of these boats, which is just a little weenie roller, as my dad called them. My dad painted his whole life, painted houses, and he always called these weenie rollers for whatever reason. 4-inch foam roller. I get these from Harbor Freight. I can't remember how much they are. I'll put it down here. They're pretty cheap and they work good. These are, they have a few different ones. They call it nap as far as the finish of your roller. And these are 1/2-inch foam. It says smooth to semi-smooth surfaces. These are the ones that I've been using. They work really good. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wipe this thing down with acetone and get to painting. It should be probably gonna need 2 coats, and I read the directions, believe it or not, and it says to wait 24 hours between coats. So we'll get this first coat on today and maybe put the second one on tomorrow, pending my job. I might have to do a 12-hour shift tomorrow. So we'll get to it when we can, and hopefully it turns out all right. So cross your fingers. Let's get to work. First coat has dried. It's the next day. As you can see, it's kind of streaky. I'm not too much worried about the bottom of the boat. You know, I got some sags and stuff, but the sides look pretty good. Like I said, they are streaky, but that is the first coat. So let's put on the second. Hopefully that'll be enough. We won't have to do 3. That covered pretty good. Well, all right. I ain't gonna make y'all watch me paint this boat again, so I'll see y'all when I'm done. All right, we got 2 coats on it, and I think it turned out looking pretty good. I mean, it is flat black, but as far as, you know, how the paint laid out, not any really roller marks or anything on it. It's dusty from just being in my garage. Some trash on it, but I'm pretty pleased. You know, as far as durability, I don't know. That's to be determined, I suppose. But I mean, even if you do scratch it, it'd be easy to touch up. It's flat, and I got plenty of paint left. So there it is on the outside. Now we gonna flip it over and do the same thing to the inside. Just sand it, wash it down, soap and water, wipe it with acetone, and then put 2 coats of paint on it, and then it'll be done. Be ready to foam it and floor it. Probably put it back on the trailer too. All right, all that stuff we did to the outside of the boat, we're gonna do to the inside. I went ahead and pulled this seat base out. I left that one in for now, but like I suspected, it looked like somebody just gooped a little bit of epoxy on here and just screwed them in. So, I mean, as long as you're just sitting down without like the pedestal, like the actual pole, that's fine. I mean, over time it could pull out. I mean, this aluminum's just way too thin. You're not grabbing enough material for those bases to really be sturdy. Those were, I will say those were on pretty good. Whatever that epoxy was, I took a scraper and got most of it off. But what I envision doing with this boat, we need that pedestal, we need that gone, because this is going to be hydroturf up top, and I think I'm just going to put a piece of aluminum right in here, and this side is going to be storage. I mean, all this might change. This is just my rough draft of it in my mind. But not going to have a seat up here, definitely. So I'm going to have to go in with something, maybe some of that great stuff foam or something, and just halfway fill this hole in with somehow to where it's kind of level. That way when the hydroturf goes down, it won't have a sunken spot. But we'll address that when I get to it. Actually, I might have a piece of scrap aluminum to put in there. But anyways, that's for later. But I just want to let you guys know I pulled that up. And I also, if you can see, like right here, there was a dent in that seat. I think it was, a dent right here where it was kind of buckled out, and one back here. And I just took a little body hammer. But you don't even need a body hammer. You could just take a regular hammer, ball peen hammer, and kind of tapped on them to where it won't look so ugly. You won't have like a bow right there. I'm not trying to make anything perfect, and really it's almost impossible to unless you drilled a hole and got some kind of dent puller. But I'm just trying to make it look a little bit better for when I put the hydroturf down, and I don't want to be beating on it after I get it painted. But that's the next step. Done wiped it down with acetone, and we are ready to paint. All right, we're done painting the little budget build boat. Like I said before, really this test is going to be just about how the paint laid versus, I won't know the durability of it unless for whatever reason I can't sell this boat and I end up using it. So I can't really tell you guys, if this paint is worth it. Somebody messaged me on Facebook about this and wanted to know if I primed it first and if I was going to go over it with any kind of sealer. I did not prime it, as you saw. This boat had the factory paint on it. I just scuffed it down, feathered out any scratches and chips, and then rolled right over it with 2 coats of that Rustoleum. And I don't plan on going over it with any kind of sealer. I'd like to see, really, in the short time that I have the boat, I'm going to be jostling around, moving it to the trailer, flipping around in here and stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see how well it holds up with that, and like I said, I might get stuck with this boat, and I'll have get some use out of it, and I'll see if it lasts. But other than that, I really don't know. This oil-based paint, it's not made for aluminum boats. That being said, I've seen people use it before and they liked it. We'll see. As far as how it laid down, it did okay. It doesn't look terrible. There's roller marks on top of the benches, which is going to be covered with hydroturf, so that really doesn't matter. probably part of the deal is, you know, it's hot. It's really hot. It's been in the upper 90s and hundreds here, and it makes it hard to paint anything unless you add thinner to it. And I didn't do that because I was trying to save some money. But in case you're wondering, Rustoleum paint suggests using acetone to thin it down. So, I mean, I had some stuff to thin it down. I just chose not to go that route. And, you know, it looks good. I mean, the inside of the boat doesn't really concern me as much as the outside. And the outside, you know, I was able to get it laid down pretty good. It's got a slight orange peel texture to it, but, you know, it's not bad. I think it's fine. It's not much worse than the Alumahawk. If you recall the bow fishing boat I did, I used Alumahawk black on it. And I would definitely say I can tell the Alumahawk is better paint than Rustoleum, but it's also about twice the price. So, I mean, you get what you pay for. You know, this looks fine. It's fine to me for a budget build. If you're trying to, you know, save a few dollars, you know, try it out. They got a bunch of different colors. But anyways, as far as cost, you know, I bought the paint earlier and I used it for the trailer. So we've already added the paint in. I think it was $40. So, and I have about a half a gallon left in case anybody's wondering. This is a small boat. I didn't paint the floor in between, you know, these two benches, but I did 2 coats on the bottom and the sides and 2 coats on the inside. And I also did the trailer. And I have about a half a gallon of paint left. So if you're not doing a trailer and you're just doing a boat, you know, if you have a 12-foot boat, I think you'd be fine with 2 quarts. Save a little bit of money. I'm not exactly sure how much these are in a quart, you know. I'd just be guessing if I said. But they're cheaper than a gallon. You'll save some money. Now, if you're looking at 3 quarts, you're probably better off just getting a gallon. Like I said, we've already added the paint in, so the only cost that we had was materials. We used 4 of those cheap paint brushes, which I got from Harbor Freight in a box. I think a box of 36, and if you do the math, I actually got them for $10, and I just looked it up, and right now they're $12.99. So you're looking at 36 cents each. So we're talking about a $1.60 after tax. Just say $2 for paint brushes. The foam rollers were $3.50, I think. So I used 4 of those, 2 for the outside, 2 for the inside. So you're looking at another $7. And then that sandpaper, which I already had. I already had all of this stuff. I didn't have to come out of pocket any of it. But I mean, technically I did. But I didn't have to go buy it specifically for this boat. I think the pack was like $3 or $4 for the sandpaper. So, I mean, and I used one of them for something else. I didn't even use all of them. So $12 for this paint job because we've already added the paint in. If you want to add the paint was I think $40. So what, $52 for the paint on this boat. That's not bad. Definitely didn't need a gallon of paint. So if you compare that with that skiff, the paint alone and just the base paint was $120. So yes, we saved a lot of money. I think it looks good. Is it my best paint job? No. But I also didn't take as much time with it either. I just scuffed it, rolled it on. But I still think this boat is going to turn out really nice. Alright, so next thing we need to do is start working on the floor. Really, this thing is going to start flowing very fast. But we're going to put some foam in the floor and figure out how we're going to lay out the floor. I imagine I'm going to do signs because this is a budget build. I have signs. They were free, and you can't really beat free. So unless somebody's wants to pay me to take some aluminum off their hands, I really don't know of a cheaper route to go than that. Alright guys, I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next one.